technology in this is just absolutely incredible. And we're so curious and confused as to how all this happened because, of course, AI grows at, at an alarming rate, but now it's so good that, well, we could be doing this with a whole lot of movies, right?
I think what's amazing is with UFO Sweden, Watch the Skies now, is that yeah, it's the first movie ever to have this done to it, right? It's the first movie ever being released in theaters across the US and being able to be opened out to an audience, the audience that it deserves, really, because it's an incredible movie. And yeah, I think it marks kind of, funnily enough, we got the premiere tonight, and I think it kind of marks a bit of a historic moment in time because I don't imagine that this isn't going to be the case for all movies eventually. And I think yeah, this is the first time it's out of the first movie, and it's a great movie that it's going out with.
Yeah. And how exactly does this technology work? Because from what I understand, that this came out, in a different language. It was completely dubbed over. The mouths look just fine. Like everything that we've known that's been a little clunky about things is gone. So how in the world does this work?
I'm going to do a short. I'll try to do a short version. Yeah. Okay. How long we got, Paul? I think it's good. Okay. Look, it's harnessing new technologies in the visual pipeline. So how this has worked is really the guys here have recorded the audio with the original actors and the original cast in English, and done a version of the script that plays in English to how they wanted to convey it that way. And the big difference really is in the dubbing process. What used to happen is you were having to rewrite the script to fit the wrong mouth movements. And what this technology kind of does is it allows you to correct the mouth movements to the right dialogue, the right performances, that kind of thing. And it essentially re-renders the whole faces so that the lip synchronicity is right for the performance, and it kind of pulls in and immerses it into as if they played that language on set, is ultimately the thing. So what sits behind it is this huge technological pipeline that's never been done before, and kind of many years and 100 million of investment and all these things, but the outcome is really the movie, and almost everyone should ignore the technology and just enjoy the movie. That's the point of the technology, to remain kind of invisible, really. So yeah, so it is incredible, the speed of the technology advancements and what's coming out, and we look at it like this is the right way this kind of technology should be used. It's done right and done for good, and yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, because someone had used some AI of me to make a car commercial where my mouth was not moving the right way, and it did not quite sound like me. So we've come a long way in about a year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, look, it's also at a kind of filmmaker level of things, of like, really, I think filmmakers and technology, they've always mixed, right? Like art and innovation, and that's been at the heart of filmmaking. And when you have these kind of advancements in the line here, it's like doing it at that high level is it's hard, but it's worth it,
I love it. So for all three of you, of course, people are going to look up to what you do, and they already are. And you seem like you have the coolest jobs in the world. So what kind of advice would each of you give to somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah. I mean, we are a small film crew from a small town in the small country, Sweden, and we started making movies because it's fun, and I think that's the key part. For us, it's so important to have fun and to be totally in love with the films that we are doing. So I mean, that's the best advice I can give. I mean, yeah, show your love in the filmmaking.
Yeah, and I think this kind of technology is kind of really an advantage for filmmakers as us, because we want to do a movie in like our own language for also the local audience, but then we also with this technology also can make a film that's not need to be a remake. It can still be our movie, and it can be go out to abroad in the world. So that's amazing how we can do. And when, because we really shot the movie in Swedish, and we didn't know about this technology when we shot it. So this is something that you kind of really do after it's finished. So that's been kind of really cool to remake the film ourselves, but keep everything.
And it kind of like widens the stage, right? Like, I think if you look at how films typically distribute, and a scene, like you've kind of almost got like a limited audience because of the barrier of language. You really like sending it out mainly to your home language territories, and so if you have smaller home language territories, it reduces the potential audience, which reduces the potential budget you would have to make a movie. Whereas actually, if you can take a movie and you can present it to essentially 8 billion people in different languages around the world, the stage, it just increases vastly, and it means that you have more potential resource to make the next movies, and so it kind of does this big unlock on that side. So I think any new filmmakers, I think looking at technologies that can help artists, that can really like help the filmmaking process, I think that's what I'd encourage people to do, and understand like where it's all come from.
Yeah. So this may be going down a rabbit hole, but okay. So if this AI is special effects, could this be up for an Oscar for special effects? Because I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, thank you. Please say that to the Sci-Tech Committee. That would be great.
Yes.
I think, look, I do think it's a turning point in cinema, right? I think it absolutely is, and whether at what point in time we all register that, we'll see, right? But I think the people who sit behind it, you know, I think are a mix of filmmakers and scientists, and have innovated into a space, and so I would say it's deserving. I'm very biased, obviously, but yeah, but it's through creation and creators that we've got here. So I think yeah, it's been a huge effort, right, and collaboration. But I
Yeah.
think, you know, hopefully it's good for everyone and good for the planet, you know.
Good. Well, and also, well, yeah, because there's a lot of stories that need to be told, and it's a better way for people to understand each other, to be able to understand each other in their own language. So, I mean, this
Yeah.
probably has more implications
I,
about the future than anything.
You know, I think when we met, we talked to this, right? Like, because I think the mission behind this right from the get-go was that, like, if you look at the polarization of the world and how we regard each other, it's the barrier of language stops us kind of empathizing and understanding of the cultures and all the stories. Films are kind of the great equalizer. Usually you can step into someone's shoes, you can experience it and empathize and walk through a cultural story and understanding to realize like we're all human and we all have these similar emotions and similar human journeys. And I think that with doing this, you really do step into those shoes, and you really do kind of understand that better. And I think that's what I'm hopeful that that's one of the great benefits of this, is that we you know, that we really kind of accept and understand different cultures from around the world.
Yeah, and when we made this movie, I mean, in the early talks, I mean, we talked about this movie. It's a very typical Swedish movie. It will never work on the American market. Never. We were so sure about it when we started making the movie. So yeah, this is a really big surprise that it actually worked. I mean, even in the Swedish version, it worked quite well in festivals and stuff like that, and even more. So now,
it's a human story, though. I think that's what you guys have done, right? Because it's a human story, and it's universal in that way, and that's why it works. Like wherever, it's just opening the access to it is the key, I suppose.
Yeah. So let's say there's a book of this film, right? You know, and someone were to read the book out in their native language. Could that be also turned into some sort of visual audiobook in a way?
Now that might be a rabbit hole, Paul. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Depends who's behind the artistry. You know, I think.
Yes.
I think I think where these things sit and where these technologies go is I think the way that I separate things is creatives. Basically, AI can't create. It can't create new ideas. It can regurgitate and it can synthesize, but it can't. And you know, Watch the Skies is a good example of that. Like all the creation has been done. It's been made. The filmmaking, the performances, all these things have been done, and it's kind of synthesizing it into a new language. But it's not creating. And I don't think that AI will create any better. You know, it'll only ever synthesize to the level of which it's trained on, and that training material really belongs to the creators and filmmakers and folks like that. So I don't think that world is a great one, and one that I think is going to help us. Whereas I think if you enable creators with tools to create more, create better, and create faster and whatnot, then I think that's where you get a lift in humanity, right? As opposed to a replacement of that.
Good. Well, last thing at the end of the day, of course, this is just a great movie that people should see, and you know, despite the technology, even though it's really cool. What's your favorite thing about the film before we let you go?
I'll let you guys start.
I think it's what we try to do is like it's kind of a really fun adventure for like the whole family. And you can kind of, when we show the film, it's people, old people, young people, it's kind of film that's for the whole family. And I think that's what I love the most, that you can just take your family and friends and have an enjoyable time.
Totally agree. Yeah, yeah.
I think
Yep.
I would say I would echo a similar point. I think you connect to. I think it's at the core. It's about family and friends and loved ones, and but wrapped around it is this incredible genre story that's really hard to do these as well. Like to do these well, it's super hard. And I think this is what you guys proved, right? Like you did it well, and that's why you get pulled in. You love it, and it's a very like I've watched this movie many times, and I will tell you, I still love it every time I watch it, and it warms me, and I get goose pimples. It's beautiful, and so yeah, so hopefully that's going to be shared with everyone.
Hey, well, you did it. Congratulations. I'm going to tell everybody to check this out and look forward to seeing what you do next. And thank you for everything that you do. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, thank